concept of education, and then in here there's a thing by, this is from the French book, by Rogers, who's either an American or an Englishman. And they say, just briefly, I have a chapter here called How to Teach Juveniles. And here, training junior judo. I'll just read this quickly here. It says, training judo students, seniors or juniors, they have similar problems. The students usually practice twice a week in the evening after a full day activity. When an instructor lectures and or demonstrates, he is not effectively teaching, but only showing how smart he is. The student learns when they actually can demonstrate the subject. C.R. Rogers, a famous psychologist, stated, the best knowledge that affects one's behavior is that which he himself has found and claims ownership to. Rogers pioneered the concept of student-centered learning. Although the sensei really wants the student to learn judo skills, the challenge is how do you keep the student interested and motivated? And then it goes on with, they quote here, a learning situation is an active discovery of a solution to a problem, and not just the mimicking of a demonstration. An example is Newaza mat work. Instructor demonstrates a turnover, students do likewise. This is a demonstration copy. This time the instructor asks the students to figure out a way to turn over and pin the opponent. And from amongst the solutions, he selects the best one. He may or may not add his key points, but the students have taken an active role in finding the solution. What is important is that the students take an active role in the learning process. Progress is slow at first, so be patient. So that's a quoting from a French book. So that's why I'm kind of motivated to, and as I travel around, I would say every club I've ever gone to, I've always seen something that I liked was different. The way the teachers do it. So, so that's the, maybe I'm dreaming, trying to do this because it is difficult getting, even getting teachers to come to a clinic here on how to teach. Hardly anybody shows up.
And this is the fundamentals for any teacher to be able to teach correctly.
Right. And they have a sensitivity to the student. Put yourself in their mind. So just like competing, we talk about the mirror mind. Where's your mirror mind when you're teaching? So there's, and so we all can learn from this because the more we know, the more we tend to talk and demonstrate. I have a bad habit that way. If I start to show a technique, next thing I know, I'm showing you 6 or 7 ways to do it. I shouldn't. I should shut up with the first one. I was at my friend's club in Texas, and it's a very good club. These are all adults. And he wanted me to show him this moving foot sweep. And so first I had them do it. It was the classical way, and I said, no, let me show you how I want you to do it. So I had them just hold and follow, and as they followed, they just did it. It was a rhythm. And it was working so well. My friend came over to me and he said, Hal, I'm going to tell you something. I want you to shut up. What you have done is perfect. Anything else you say, you're going to ruin it. He said, no, just be quiet now. I've never seen a class get a lesson and everyone do it so well. But knowing me, I would just blah, 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 and also then there's this and there's that and so forth, see. Now, something I've done in here, I've had the artist change a lot of drawings. I made women and black kids. Now, I showed this artwork with the black kids to 2 of our really top black instructors. And when they saw the picture with the black kids, you should see the smile on their face. It was like, wow. I said, did you notice that? Yeah. And about a few weeks ago, we had a meeting with the board of directors from USJA, and I was introducing this, and there were 2 women there. They were wanted to know why we're changing the system and so forth, because the system they have doesn't have any real techniques in it.
It was Phil Porter, I think, who wrote the system 20 years ago.
So anyways, when they looked at this book and they saw the girls, these are two women looking at it, you should see the look on their face. Oh, at last you have women doing it in an instruction book, see. So there's more to teaching. That's another. I'm dealing with an instructor now who doesn't know too much judo, but he has a very large club, 100 people in the Midwest. But he knows how to teach. He teaches diving, he teaches fire safety, different things. He's a professional instructor. But he knew a little about judo and he wanted to get a club going. And like I say, he doesn't, technically, he's a lightweight in a way, you know, his experience. But he really understands. So what he does with the kids, he has a 2-hour class. The last hour is achieving your goal. And the kids spend time, they look at the pictures and they try practicing things. How to achieve your goal. So, and he has, just psychologically. And so the kids are trying, just like this little rondori you're doing where you have to do a different one each time, see. And this is the thing that, so I thought if I get this thing started and then we get some feedback from people, it'll grow.
Yes.
And it's, somebody the other day told me something he heard from a Kung Fu student, from his master. That's where I hear it came from. And the master had a ring with keys. And he says, you see this key? This key is the key to the techniques, to the fundamentals, Each of these keys are for a different trick. You cannot open the door with that one unless you have this key first. I thought that was very good, you know. So everybody wants to run in and do what they think the trick is, like pick a leg up and put it behind, see. And they hear about break-in balance and the gripping, but they put it all aside. They just want to get that leg behind the person and throw them.
But you have to get there, you know.
You have to get there.
Yeah.
And I teach things, I call it pigeon-toed judo. And I explain how there's an expression, uchimata, there's a judo throw called uchimata, between the thigh. But there's also a way of walking called uchimata. That's the way the women walk in Japan with a kimono. See, if you're wearing a kimono, your legs are bound, right? It's not like a free-flowing skirt. So you just can't walk like this. So you walk like this, all right? They shuffle. That's how you do it in judo. Boom, boom, you let it out. Uchimata move. In, out, like that. Say 3. Now my foot's here, then I can bring this foot through and do it. See, and it's interesting. So I do that and I imitate a woman in a kimono and everybody laughs, you know. And it's called uchimata. It's a swivel hip. You'll see some top judo guys walking and they just walk like this. They're used to just rotating their hip. They put their mind in your lower abdomen. This is the seat of power. This is before the Renaissance in Europe. The seat of power was the lower abdomen. During the Renaissance, it sort of became the heart. So this is your power where you lift, you push, you turn. That's why when the warriors committed suicide, they cut their belly open. This is your soul. See, not the heart. That's just a pump. So this type of thing was recognized for years. That's why you see the sumo standing like this here with their stomach. Boom, the lower stomach. They can just propel you through the air. You grab them and just boom, like that with the stomach. And they get you out and lift you, just like that. See? So these are, again, this is similar, no matter what you're talking about, Ju-Jitsu, Kendo, there is a similar type of thing, you know, the mind, the body, the way you use it, ways to be more effective. Now, since we're not cutting with a sword, we wouldn't necessarily use that in judo. Although you could block somebody, that's what the Aikido is. It's a hand sword. You block the person, bang, boom, you take them. See? That's Te-Katana, that hand sword. And you're using your body and the way you're shuffling and moving, and so now they can't move. All of a sudden you got them there and bang, you take them over. See? And same thing if you even catch your wrist, you want to do a wrist thing. Most people would just try to do this, see? But you use your whole body, everything comes in. So you don't even, you're hardly ever twisting the wrist. Your whole body does
Your whole
it,
body.
right?
Yes.
And that's it. So,
As if people rely too much on strength of their hands.
That's right.
It's not just the hands does, it's a whole body
the
movement.
body, that's right, yeah. Just like somebody grabs you, you catch him and just go down like that, and they go, you know, and you got the hand there. So there's different concepts. Training blindfolded, so you don't get to use your eyes and you lean on a person, see?
Yeah.
Or just learn to let the other person grab you and try to throw.
You feel. When you're blind, you have to feel it.
You have to feel. That is also knowing things. Now, I have an old video from Japan, and I called it the favorite techniques of the champions. And what this shows are these situations. For example, this one guy, he's got a powerful grip right here. Right here. He's holding him. So this guy, he just reaches here, catches the pocket grip, bang, like that, and all of a sudden, the arm's like that, and he takes him off to the side. See? Or I like to go over the top. I push down and then come up, and I take the elbow. He's using my body weight without even a hand. I throw a lot of people just using my own body, you know, and locking their arms and stuff. But these are things I learned because I had to win. There were no decisions, and I had to get it done fast, you know. And I couldn't get exhausted because I had to fight. If I won one, I had to beat the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy. And, you know, if you're out there beating yourself up, you're lucky if you can get by one.
Yeah.
See? And so, you know, and it gets, but again, you have to be in condition, and we're always getting injured, and you always have to climb the mountain all over again. This isn't something that once you know it, it's there.
No.
It's not a magic pill. Oh, take this pill, now go do that throw. It doesn't happen that way. And we all get problems. We have nervous reactions that don't help us, you know, especially when you're competing. And so there's that type of thing. But again, I've seen, looking at some of the recent films now, because they do so much now over YouTube for these big tournaments, and I see some top people just getting thrown easy. They're just making this one little mistake, and the other person just explodes and takes them. And I know they go home and kick themselves 1,000 times, you know, because what they did, just at that one moment, that one looking the wrong way, making a move the wrong way, at that moment, you pull the person. Now, I think one thing I became to realize, and I don't know if you think of this, but one of the most important skills is the way you grip and hold, because almost all throws, you're going to bring an elbow in and a shoulder down. Almost everything you're doing that. You're not doing this.
No.
But even if it's going to be like this. And that way you have a safe throw, and it's controlled. Same thing on the bottom. If I'm at the bottom and you're coming at me, I pull your elbow in, bring your shoulder in, and then flip you over. I'm going to take you over that way. If you're like this and I want to turn you over, I bring in your elbow and your shoulder, and I take you over your shoulder. Almost everything is an elbow and shoulder going over. Oversimplified. So going for the elbow and like near the shoulder is very important. And when you do that, you can feel the whole body, and you've got a control, and it's safe. See, nobody likes to be thrown, but if they're thrown safely, they're okay. So if your students The other one takes the person over, and then applies the throw. They're going to roll. Whether they know how to fall or not, they're not going to get hurt. If they can go over that way. But if they're this way, then falling, they're going to get hurt. Their wrist, their elbow, their shoulder hitting. So, as I start looking at all this, sometimes you stand back and you see a different picture. I said, my God, everything's elbow and shoulders, you know? It's sort of a little oversimplified. See, when you do that. And the same thing with the Ju-Jitsu or the Aikido, is blocking and controlling an elbow. Block the elbow, take the guy, take him over here, the elbow. Down. See. Now, in the Ju-Jitsu, even some of the Judo, we have other things. There's like the twisting action, where you actually hurt the arm. You rotate. You know, there's different ways of doing things. You know, but still, you get down to control that ends up with that elbow. See, it's I like to teach basic Aikido with the tsugiyashi, the way to walk, and the blocking of the elbow, and taking a person down, and taking them back, things like that. It's real easy. In fact, when I teach a brand new person, Osotogari, I don't even grip the gi. I just say, okay, reach for me. He reaches for me, I step to the side, I catch his elbow, I come here and I lay him down. He do it to me. He says, that's Osoto. You don't even need the leg. You know, just like that. So that comes from they all come from the same thing, you know. In fact, this book talks about the different types, and it mentions Yawara and Ju-Jitsu and so forth.
Especially if it was written in 1910.
Yeah.
So it means Judo was still in a developing process. So they're talking a lot about Ju-Jitsu, Yawara.
That's what it was. They all came from that. And so what they did is they developed a way of training so you could emphasize the free practice and the competition and develop these other senses, which they found more effective later, mentally and physically. See, this was that's the unique part of the Judo. Now what happens is they start going overboard that way. Now we end up with people like this. And Kano himself is going, oh my God, what's happened to my Judo? Yeah, there's some very good books in the last few years on Kano's life and his sayings. And Kano wanted to get back to self-defense. So we asked Tomiki, who was a top Judo guy and Aikido guy, to come up with a method to use in Judo. And that's how this Tomiki Aikido started to evolve. He started thinking about it when he was a prisoner of war with the Russians in Manchuria. They arrested him because he was an intellect. He taught calligraphy. And it's the communist guys not going after the smart guys. So that was
this was a very special interview today with O-Sensei Hal, who was he still is a Judo legend, one of the first people, Westerners and American, who opened up Kodokan Judo Institute after World War II, and also he's a part of AJJIF Global as a AJJIF living legend. Thank you for your time and your knowledge, never-ending knowledge and wisdom, and hopefully we're going to come back and do another subject. We'll pick another subject, we'll do the interview. Thank you very much.